Greetings everyone, and welcome to the Planetable Logs. Today we'll close Volume 2 with Logs 13, Waking Part 3, and 14, Respite, starting with our first pirate profile. There are many prolific pirates out there, not just Hack and Lubour, and most of them will get one of these, with concept art and a catchy nickname like The Butcher. I already covered Lubour's history and clumsy killing, so moving on. So what's your story? Pirates took your parents or something? Hello, my name is Minnow. Finally, someone with manners. I am Lubour Resnick of the Barracuda Gang, and this is my battlesuit Schlagen, generously gifted to me by the Pirate Queen herself. Lubour Resnick, I come with a proposition. Retreat or surrender. Call off this attack and withdraw your forces. That is my proposition. Oh my stars, you're actually being sincere about this. Lubour loses patience, opens fire on Minnow, and she vaporizes the bullets. Another glimpse of the Dauphin's true power. Minnow just created plasma. What does her blood have to do with this? Not that kind of plasma, the other kind, you know, the fourth state of matter. No? Heat a solid, it melts. Heat a liquid, it evaporates. Heat the right gas, and it becomes plasma. Most matter in the known universe is this fourth state. It's the stuff that stars are made of. Wow, you mean that stuff Minnow shot out just now is as hot as a star? How does it work? Gas is emitted from vents in the Dauphin. The nodes on the elbows create electric currents that ignite the gas. What's going on out there? Minnow's gonna kick that pirate's butt 6 ways from Sunday. That's another idiom I would leave out today. There's no way there'll still be days called Sunday, and maybe not even weeks structured the same as ours after 30,000 years and a few societal resets. Maybe future weeks will be 14 days long, and they'll just be half as many weeks, or even half as many months. That's a neat trick. Yeah, surprise, I'm not playing around either. I can tear your zoo to pieces until you fall out of it if you make me. Fall out? What, you mean like my body? Oh, you brave little seal. What do you think you're looking at? You think I'm sitting on my hands in here? This thing is my body. I'm just a head and a few organs. Not that I'll specify where those are. This is more than a corporeal vessel. It is a symbol of a true pirate's devotion. Now do you see how committed we are to our beloved queen? How can you even question it? There is nothing you can do when faced with a power like this. Minnow's ordered to stand down but refuses. She doesn't even think she can beat Lubour, just maybe hold him back long enough for other help to arrive. Minnow's first real fight is pretty hectic, mostly Lubour bouncing her around until she grabs his cable, melts it, steals his flail, and slams it back at him, finally damaging his dome a bit. But she's used up a lot of power, while he's only getting started. And we get our first name drop of a character who will be tremendously consequential from the next book to the whole series. Sunday. Alright, you've seen how strong I am. Call off this attack. I don't want any more violence. That's a shame. You don't know how much fun you're missing out on. Now I think I'll introduce you to a world of terribly beautiful violence. Yes. I love modular machines with extra sets of limbs. I wish I'd emphasized that more in the early books, not just fights like this. But there'll be plenty of examples in later volumes. Lubour mantis shrimp punches down through the Perside's runway and is Minnow dead to rights, her zoot depleted. But when he shocks her, she grabs his antennae and uses them like jumper cables, recharging the Dauphin and even freeing herself. Current me would leave out the defiant anime scream. She even catches one of Lubour's punches, melting the arm until it shatters. A sore loser, Lubour's about to blow her away with Schleichen, but she bought enough time for Sturgeon's horseshoe crab ship, the Lemulidae, to get into position and attack from below, which it's only able to do because Lubour's crew were so glued to the fight, they stopped paying attention to their monitors. Minnow tries one more time to catch him, but he just drops most of his body on her. This is a subtle detail, but earlier he said he wouldn't tell her where his organs are, but they're right underneath his head where you might expect them to be. He quickly realized how reluctant Minnow may be to hit his body too hard if she didn't know where his vitals were, and bluffed that they could be anywhere, once again trapped underwater, this time out of power with a big metal monster dragging her down. Minnow has another PTSD attack. To this day, this is one of the most grim moments in the series. Not only was Minnow about to die, she couldn't even make peace with it, steel herself and think, at least I'll be with Andrea soon. Her final moments would have been blind panic and misery. But Andrea does appear, or at least Minnow thinks for a moment. It's a tadpole zoot just like the one Andrea had, But no, it's just Honora, and Danny, and Puppy, and Sturgeon, and people just kind of in awe at what she's done. I underestimated the usefulness of the Dauphin. By itself, it may look like a toy, but in the control of a capable pilot, it was just what we needed. Seems I underestimated you as well. Good work, soldier. Log 14 opens with Minnow as she appeared at the beginning of this and where she is now. Bearing in mind I wrote them as one book and released both on the same day, it's kind of funny looking back and realizing it wasn't that much development compared to how much she's changed over the better part of a decade, which Sturgeon foreshadows here, revealing one of his children is autistic and warning Honora to not let Minnow keep fighting or it'll destroy her. Will they need to give up their limbs? Yes. When I met Noma, I told her I didn't know what touch is. That's still somewhat true. Say someone touches my face like this, it can feel nice. It probably feels good for them too. Yet when I reach out with these hands and touch somebody else's face, there's nothing. It's like reaching into a void. I'm always disconnected there. It feels like I'm watching some other person's arms and legs do what my brain tells them to. I'd grown so used to limbs that were old and stiff and heavy and made it hard to move. I couldn't believe how light and free these ones made me feel. Makes you wonder what else I could be missing out on and not even know it. I can't do that to somebody else. If I can do this job, I won't rob someone else of their ability to feel what they have. Autistic people are often accused of lacking empathy. Compared to robots and dehumanized, Minnow will always be dehumanized to some degree because of her limbs, but she clearly is empathetic as the vast majority of autists are. We just don't express it in the way society has agreed to. And this is one of the reasons I gave her these limbs, as a visual metaphor for what it feels like being autistic sometimes. This is what reaching out to connect with others sometimes feels like we're just blindly fumbling in the dark. It's awkward, like Minnow's limbs. Most of the characters have a harder time connecting to Minnow and seeing her view, even those who mean well. Determined to send Minnow back to the Bellina with Nathan, but he isn't 100% sure. I wonder if it would even be right to send her back. She has reason to not want to go. Too many bad memories. Maybe it's not for us to decide where Minnow goes now. Then whose decision is it if not hers? You've just answered your question. Noma really is the instigator in all this, pushing Minnow along from the beginning. Dear Minnow, I was intent on taking you back to the Bellina, but you're not ready to leave this life you've made recently, are you? I've only ever wanted to honor Andrea, to measure up to the standards she set, but I overlooked the one thing that was most important to her. It wasn't her medals or even her ship. It was you. I don't believe there's anything Andrea didn't want you to be able to try if it was your decision. And as wild as it may sound to the people who like to think they know what sort of person she was, if she was still around today and you joined the Navy for reasons only you know, I think she would go with you. She understood you better than I ever did. Even at the end, I don't think she regretted any of the time she spent with you. For too long, people who thought they knew better have been making choices for you, deciding your fate and failing to help you thrive. Maybe this is where your story finally begins. I see you doing great things for the world. I have faith that you will. Don't worry about returning the medal. It seems only appropriate that you take something of hers with you. There's a tragedy to Minnow and Nathan's relationship. It's easy to say it's never too late, that he could still be a father figure to Minnow, but her heart isn't on the Bellina. Who knows how differently the whole series would have gone if he wasn't such a doofus. I forgive you! Darn, I'm too far away to hear what she's saying. If that doesn't just perfectly symbolize everything. I'll be fine, don't worry. I'll get those people back. I'll find a way. I'll tell everyone about the great things you've done, Minnow. When next you visit the Bellina, I'll make sure that people welcome you as a hero. You'll never feel unwanted again. First things first, we'll have to find another place for you to train underwater. The piping around the pool was wrecked. I may be able to help with that. And the book ends with a merry jaunt around Noma's territory in Merfolk country. It's a whole scene. Insert uplifting film score here. And the surface that seems so far beyond Minnow at the start of the book is now literally within reach. It's the same ledge from Volume 1's cover. This is that scene, which makes a much tighter bookend if you treat these as one book. I still occasionally contemplate going back and remaking those first 2 books as the giant 300-page monster they were meant to be, taking everything I've learned to update the art, clean up the dialogue, maybe leave out the quadruple helical DNA. I don't know when that would be. And I did bring what I learned from just these books going into Volume 3. That's it for today. Check out my books on Amazon and itch.io, and my Patreon page to get videos like this early, your name in the credits, behind the scenes content, a patron Discord server, signed copies of Planet Ripple, and maybe even your own LEGO Rewind episode. See you next time on the Planet Ripple Logs. Toodles!